Someone your age gets promoted. Someone buys a house. Someone gets engaged. Someone starts a business. Someone seems to know exactly where their life is going. And suddenly, even if nothing in your life actually changed, your own life starts to feel late. You start asking yourself, why am I not there yet? Why does everyone seem ahead of me? Did I waste too much time? Am I falling behind? And the worst part is, nobody even has to say anything. You just look around and your brain starts building a case against you. But here's the truth. Most people don't feel behind because their life is actually over. They feel behind because they're measuring their life against a timeline they never chose. So in this video, we'll break down why you feel behind and then the 3 things you can do to stop letting that feeling control you. The first reason you feel behind is because you are comparing timelines, not lives. You see someone's result, the job, the relationship, the money, the house, the confidence, but you don't see the full story behind it. You don't see the family help. You don't see the private doubts. You don't see the debt. You don't see the sacrifices. You don't see the nights they felt lost too. You compare your entire internal life to one small external moment from theirs. And because their milestone is visible, your progress starts to feel invisible. That's why comparison is so powerful. It doesn't just show you what someone else has. It makes you forget what you've survived. It makes you forget what you're still building. It makes you forget that your life has context. The second reason you feel behind is because social media turns everyone into one impossible person. Think about it. In one scroll, you see a promotion, a holiday, an engagement, a new apartment, and someone's gym transformation, all back to back. And your brain doesn't separate those lives. It turns them into one impossible person with the body, the money, the relationship, the confidence, the freedom, and the perfect timeline. But that person doesn't exist. You're not comparing yourself to one real person. You're comparing yourself to a highlight reel made from hundreds of different lives. No wonder you feel behind. You're racing against a person your mind invented. And this isn't just motivational talk. Research on social media comparison has found that when people compare upward, meaning they compare themselves to people who seem better off, it can lead to more negative self-evaluation. So if scrolling leaves you feeling worse, it doesn't mean something is wrong with you. Your brain is simply comparing your real life to someone else's best looking moment. The third reason is that feeling behind makes delay feel like failure. You think, I'm not where I should be. But underneath that, what you're really scared of is, or what if I never get there? That's why the feeling becomes so heavy. It's not just about today. It's about the fear that your future is closing. You see one delay and your mind turns it into a prophecy. I'm late. I missed my chance. Everyone has moved on. There's no time left. But being delayed is not the same as being doomed. A late start is still a start. A slow path is still a path. A different timeline is still a timeline. So what do you actually do? Here are 3 things. Number 1, separate borrowed goals from real goals. A lot of the pressure you feel doesn't come from what you truly want. It comes from what you think you're supposed to want. You see someone getting married and suddenly you feel behind. But do you actually want marriage right now? Or do you just feel bad because someone else has it? You see someone buying a house and suddenly you feel behind. But do you actually want that exact life? Or have you just been taught that this is what progress is supposed to look like? This is the question that changes everything. Do I actually want this? Or do I only feel behind because someone else has it? Psychologists call this idea self-concordant goals. It basically means goals that actually fit you, not goals you copied from your friends, not goals you inherited from your parents, not goals you picked because society made them look impressive. Research on goal pursuit has found that when people chase goals that match their own values, they're more likely to keep putting in effort and more likely to experience well-being from that progress. So the question isn't just, am I behind? The better question is, behind what? And more importantly, behind whose version of life? Because not every milestone is your milestone. Not every path is your path. And not every version of success would actually make you happy. Sometimes you don't need to catch up. You need to stop chasing a life that was never yours. Number 2, shrink the timeline. When you feel behind, your brain zooms too far out. You start thinking about your whole life at once. Where should I be by 25? Where should I be by 30? Where should I be by 40? What if I'm still stuck years from now? And suddenly, the future becomes so massive that you freeze. So shrink it. Don't ask, how do I fix my entire life? Ask, what would make the next 90 days better? That's it. 90 days. Not the next 10 years. Not your entire identity. Just the next small chapter. What can you improve? What can you learn? What can you finish? What can you clean up? What can you start doing consistently? And this is where your brain needs something specific. Not a vague promise like, I'll get my life together, but a clear next action. Researchers call this an implementation intention. In simple terms, it means making an if-then plan. If it's Monday morning, then I'll apply for one job. If I finish work, then I'll spend 20 minutes learning one skill. If I start comparing myself again, then I'll write down one thing I can actually control today. That sounds small, but research has found that these simple if-then plans can have a meaningful effect on goal achievement because your brain no longer has to decide from scratch. It already knows the next move. Feeling behind becomes dangerous when it turns into paralysis, but small movement breaks the spell. Because the moment you start moving again, your brain gets new evidence. You're not stuck. You're not finished. You're not as powerless as the feeling says you are. Number 3, build proof, not pressure. Most people try to escape feeling behind by pressuring themselves harder. They tell themselves, I need to catch up. I need to do more. I need to fix everything fast. But pressure usually creates panic, and panic usually creates avoidance. What you need instead is proof. Proof that you're moving. Proof that you're learning. Proof that your life is not standing still. That proof can be small. Applying for one job. Saving a small amount of money. Going for a walk. Learning one skill. Cleaning your room. Finishing one task you've been avoiding. Having one honest conversation. Making one decision you've been delaying. These things may look small from the outside, but psychologically, they matter because every small action tells your brain, I am still participating in my life. I am still capable of change. I am still moving forward. There's also a better kind of comparison. Instead of only comparing yourself to other people, compare yourself to your past self. Research on temporal comparison suggests that looking at your progress over time can create a sense of movement and pride without turning life into a competition. So ask yourself, what can I do this week that my past self would have avoided? What can I finish today that proves I'm not the same person I was yesterday? Because the goal is not to feel better than someone else. The goal is to feel like you are no longer abandoning yourself. You don't fix the feeling of being behind by winning the whole race overnight. You fix it by creating evidence that you are no longer standing still. And here's the part most people forget. There is no official timeline. There is no universal age where everything is supposed to happen. Some people succeed early and feel empty. Some people start late and build something real. Some people look ahead but are quietly unhappy. Some people look behind but are finally becoming themselves. Life is not a straight line. It's not a checklist. It's not a race where everyone starts with the same money, the same support, the same confidence, the same opportunities, or the same pain. So if you feel behind, don't use that feeling as proof that you failed. Use it as information. Maybe it's telling you that you want more direction. Maybe it's telling you that you've been comparing too much. Maybe it's telling you that it's time to move again. But it is not telling you that your life is over. You're not behind because someone else arrived earlier. You only become truly behind when you abandon your own path to chase a life that was never yours. So start smaller. Choose honestly, move again, and let your life be built from the inside, not from the timeline everyone else made you believe you had to follow.